Sports Radio.
Time to listen into your host,
Sonic Nova. Coming at you live from Spreaker Internet Radio, where we put a new spin on spiritual development and paranormal activities.
Welcome, everybody. Another segment of Surfing the Cosmic Waves with your host, Sonic Nova. And today, I am going to be talking about creating miracles. It's something that my partner suggested I should talk about, manifesting miracles, utilizing our authentic power. So, let's see where we can go with this. This is an hour segment. I may, throughout the segment, channel one of the beings or maybe many other beings regarding this subject, if they feel called to do that. So our show is 1 hour, and if you're interested in looking at our shows every week or looking at whatever else, if you're interested in winning a 5-minute private reading with me, Sonic Nova, feel free to go to this website, sonicnova.net/sonic, the minus sign, or I guess it's not it's minus sign Nova, and you can enter your address and your contact information there, and I pick 4 winners every week. So for those of you that are interested in getting a free reading or winning a free reading, please go to sonicnova.net/sonic minus sign Nova, and you'll see the page and you can enter to win. All right, now let's talk about this year, the upcoming events, and what we can look forward to. And let's talk about really what the concept of a miracle is. I want to address that because we all are miracle workers, and we all really, at the core of us, in the core of us, to me, is our heart. Okay, that is really where the core of us is actually our actual heart is an amazing, what do I want to call it? Transmuter. It transmutes all kinds of issues that we have in our life, from the most drastic diseases to the most lightened states of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm umming a lot today, even though I was prepared for the show. So hopefully it won't be too boring. So I want to talk about who are our role models on planet Earth that really exemplified this great power that we all have. And one that comes to mind that I have channeled in the past is he's known to me by the name Yeshua, or as everybody knows him, Jesus Christ. And he actually, in one of the channelings that I did with some friends of mine and a group in Vegas, he actually told us that a lot of what was written about him was false. In other words, a fiction, not true. He basically said that he confessed to us that he was not the healer. That when he started on his journey of self-discovery, that the one that truly taught him about healing and the miracles that happen with healing a person's physical body was not him. It was actually Mary Magdalene, his real partner. Lots of things were channeled through him that were quite intriguing, that later on I discovered, because I would do the search after I would channel to find if I could find any legitimacy to it. And he said that the true healer, the true miraculous healer that could actually resuscitate people from the dead, she could bring them back, she could heal people and remove their cancer, kind of what I'm doing these days. I won't claim that I've resuscitated anybody back from the dead. I resuscitated myself twice. So, to me, that's good enough. Anyhow, he basically told us that she's the one that trained him, that taught him how to do healings on people, how to do what you would call faith healings, or spiritual healings. He's the one that actually was taught by Mary Magdalene. The other thing he told us, which is kind of interesting, was that there wasn't just one Mary Magdalene, that there was a very common name in that time frame, which is true. And he actually was with 10 different Mary Magdalenes, because he knew that he was going to be persecuted and killed because he was a truth sayer. Just like people are now in these days. You know, just look around you and you'll see. Whoever turns against the banksters, the gangster banksters, that supposedly control this planet, or so they think. Haha. Last laugh is on her, on the mother, on Gaia. Anyhow, he basically got all these 10 women pregnant and several children. He had several children with them, and before the time came that they were going to get rid of them, however they did it, because they embellished everything is what he said, he commanded some of his family members, to actually spread his seed, and there must be something written about that, to the four corners of the earth, which was his children. Hello. So, like 3 or 4 years before his death, we were commanded by him, and he did go to each and every one of these women that he had these children with and warn them that if they didn't do this, that the priestly caste and the military at that time, which was the Romans, would find these children and then kill them. And that they truly had no option but to give us the children. And yes, I said us. So that we could then take them to the four corners of the earth, far away from the Romans where they could harm them, or the priestly caste. And that's exactly what we did. According to Yahshua, I was the youngest sister. I was Sarah, his youngest sister in that time frame. And he basically said that I was very angry at him, that I was extremely upset at him, because he knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to be tortured. And I told him, you know people all over the world. Why don't you just leave? And he said, no. He said, I need to be the example. And I know that life is eternal, and it may not be in this body, but life is eternal, and I will continue. And this is just a phase. Which, of course, made the whole family very angry. And he basically stated in that channeling that he actually had put me in charge of going and rounding up all the children of all these women. And actually taking them, having a group of people that we had organized very quietly. And of course he wasn't yet, in danger in that time frame 4 or 5 years before he actually literally was being persecuted. Like so many other humans here on earth, by the Jesuit priests, because they were there back then. They just had a different name. And so we actually scattered all these children all over the earth, so that his seed, if you like, would continue. His basically genetic code. And they wanted us to do it in such a way that they would have no knowledge, no even understanding, if you like, of where or how or when. So, that was really interesting to channel that information, and that he had me talk about all these things, and discuss this with everybody. So, basically what he said is that we, all of us, all of humanity, he basically said that we are to return to our Christed self, which is in our hearts. And that's why I say the heart is the great transmuter. I don't care what disease you have, what being out of ease, unhappiness, dissatisfaction with reality or your life, you really are the crucible of the shift that you can create in your life. So that's basically what he said in so many words. And he said that we all, every single one of us, has to kneel in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And he said we have to kneel upon our hearts, because that is where the kingdom of heaven is. It is not up there in the sky, so stop looking for it out there or outside of yourself. It's literally within you. It's the breath that breathes you. It's the air that comes in and out of your body. And it's that heart that keeps beating without you having to worry about it. So, anytime that I encounter cases of any sort, okay, whether it may be a cancer patient that is riddled with cancer in their body, or it may be, and I'm not talking about them being my patient, I'm talking about somebody that comes to me and says, oh God, I got diagnosed with cancer and I don't trust those damn doctors, and what can I do? So what I first tell them, and I tell them this very clearly, I say, in order for me to work on you and for us to work together, we both have to be a team. So you must understand this first, is that you and I have to work in synchronicity, and it's a 50-50 partnership, okay? And if you're willing to do that, then and only then can I help you. The other thing I ask people that are, shall we say, that the doctors pronounce them dead already, is I ask them this very important question. And my next question is, how badly do you want to get better? Would you rather have people like tell you, oh, I'm so sorry and I feel so bad for you and there's nothing I can do? Do you want their pity? Or do you want to live? And there's certain people that I've talked to in the last couple of weeks that really are more committed to their suffering than really committed to healing themselves and clearing themselves. Because the truth is, because you are, and that's one of the things that Joshua talked about. He talked about that you are the catalyst. You, the person that has the disease, you created it. You actually brought it into existence, into your body, because of the lessons you needed to learn, okay? Because of a variety of different reasons, and you're the one that needs to actually be willing to heal it. He basically told us that he didn't just come up to people that were sick, like they said, or that were plagued by different diseases, and would say, oh, I'm going to heal you. He didn't do that. Mary Magdalene didn't teach him to do that. All of us that come from this long lineage of transmuters of the heart of humanity, we actually have been taught not to interfere if we're not asked. So if he saw people dying on the street from whatever diseases plagued them, and they were just stuck in their misery and didn't look up and didn't say, hey, please help me, he wouldn't help them. He just passed them by. Why? Because they weren't ready to transmute. They weren't ready for their transformation. And so I tell you all that it's the same for you. That you all have to be ready for your transformation and your transmutation. And yes, I am a catalyst, and yes, I can assist you in your transformation, but you know what? It's like a 50-50 partnership. And if you're not willing to do certain things, and you're more attached to the people that actually feel sorry for you, and getting pity and being pitied upon, and you doing your pity party with yourself, then most certainly you're not ready for me. You need to go and do your own soul searching to find out when you're ready for that. So that's one of the things that I talk to people. And I tell them that really they are the miracle. That you are the miracle that actually was born into existence, into physical form, in a body. And that you, at every single level, and this is a very hard thing for all of us to accept, okay? It took me 10 years to accept this. Me, okay? That I created every single thing in my life to the very, very minute, to the biggest, most horrific experiences, I created them. Me. With my thoughts, with the way I was thinking, the way I was acting, and it basically created my outcomes. So there's something really beautiful that I send to people that is a saying from the Buddha, which is so true for all of us, which is watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits, right? So if you're habitually hurting your body and drinking Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and eating all the poisons the doctors give you and taking their flu shots and the medications, and you're actually eating their poison GMO food, and you're just, poisoning yourself every day, I would call that definitely your actions that eventually are going to cause harm to your body sooner or later. Or using your cell phone and having wireless in your house all the time, that's going to hurt you as well. So those become your habits, right? So your Coke and your Cheetos and all the poisons that you buy from these mega corporations that all they want to do is poison you, so that then you can get on their pharmaceutical machine with the white coats, the doctors that actually are there to poison you as well. Because they're just the pimps for the pharmaceutical companies, let's face it. And so is all of their organizations that are part of the USA Corporation, yes, United States of America Corporation, that's owned by all these corporations and all these different segments, right? That are actually here to make you sick, not better. So if you don't like to hear this truth, so be it, because there's a lot of truthsayers nowadays that are yelling it at the top of their lungs from every single roof, letting everybody know how sick and demented this whole organizational pyramid is that was implanted, yes, and that we allowed. So also that we're responsible for. But a lot of people are now starting to wake up and go, oh no, you're not going to poison us anymore. We're done with your poisoning little games. Anyhow, that's the important thing to keep in mind and to keep yourselves in balance. And that yes, you are at the helm. This is your body temple, and you are responsible for every little single thing that happens to it. So, you also are responsible for, if you're ready for your transmutation and transformation, for you to convert that into the vehicle that you came in originally with, which was pristine. And I truly believe that you could do that. There are so many ascended masters that I've channeled that have told me time and time again that they were able to live a very, 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 very long life, hundreds of years, and then actually finally ascended. And every single one of them had one thing in common. There was a single thread in common. They all honored their body temples. Every single one of them made sure that they ate properly, they did the right detoxes, that they had the essential, shall we say, the essential components, physical components. What I like to call is the foundational components, physically speaking, of the right substances that they gave their body and cleanses and everything that maintained them ageless pretty much. It made them look quite young for a very, very long time. And then they finally figured out how to transmute or transform their vibrating particles of energy, their cells in their body, and boom, they were out of here. So, I do believe that happened quite a bit, and that there's a lot of hidden information about that has been hidden from humans, because of course they don't want you to know that. So as the Buddha was saying, watch your habits, they become your character, and watch your character, it becomes your destiny. In so much, he's basically saying, you keep on eating the junk food you're eating, drinking the poisons that you're drinking. Yes, alcohol is included in that, okay? And you will end up with your destiny, which will be liver problems, heart problems, all kinds of physical maladies in your body. So that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about tonight is I can only assist you and be the catalyst for your miracles, but you guys have to be willing to be the miracle itself. You have to be willing to catalyze your own demise, what you've created into your bodies, into existence, that is now literally eating you alive, like a cancer. I see it as, I basically, when I do my remote healing sessions, see it as literally a black fungus that's growing in different areas. And then there's another type of cancer that I see that's actually like a rooted cancer, and that's the one that actually you build tumors from, your body does. Okay? And then there's blood cancer, and that is definitely like a liquid black mold that's flowing everywhere. And there is a bone cancer. There's all kinds of different forms of cancers, which is nothing more than mold. And you guys do need to do your research about that. One of the precursors to cancer is candida. And how do we get candida in the rest of the body? Like in the brain. And how do we get it in our lungs? And how do we get it in our hands and on our arms and our feet? And every other single organ that you have that has been plagued by this candida monster, basically, that doesn't, it's not the same as what was in your intestines, by the way. It completely transforms into something else. Do you guys want to know what the catalyst for that? Did any of you wonder why you're so sick of candida and there's all these different diets? You know, if it was plagued and you only had it in your gut, in your bowels, okay, I'll just put it plainly, not just in your stomach lining, but in your bowels, you could get rid of it with certain dietary supplements and special oils like tea tree oil and other antifungal oils. But this is not that. This is a mutation of candida. It actually has a cystine wall that actually prevents any of those herbs or any of those supplements or any kind of dietary program. It prevents it from actually healing and getting better. How about that? And it goes through the blood-brain barrier, blood-body barrier, with one single dose of antibiotics given to you by guess who? Your friendly doctor, the one that is the pimp for the pharmaceutical companies and the Food and Drug Administration. Who do you think they work for? The pharmaceutical companies. You guessed it. And the chemical companies. They are the bitches, and I will say this to them, to their face, of the pharmaceutical companies, all the ones that are created all the poisons on the planet, not only to kill the planet, but to kill the people and all the animals, including everything on Earth. So, I know I'm going pretty extreme, but this is the reality, folks. So if you want to put yourselves under the knife of a doctor, or you want to put yourselves and poison yourselves with their chemotherapy, chemical poisoning, and burning all your cells because you have cancer or some autoimmune disease, go for it. Be my guest. Because the one thing that will certainly result from that, and all the proof efficacy about all the things that they do, is out in the open. You could find it on Google in 5 seconds and find out how many people they're killing every year. That's what you want to do, so be it. Bless your little heart. I guess you have chosen to die. That's my humble opinion. There's other things that also help cure these diseases that are natural plant sources. And there's a lot of people talking about that as well. So I won't get into the details of that. All I could tell you is that the experiences that I've had with the cases that I've had that have come to me that have had from extreme cancer that's 4 level pancreatic stage cancer, all the way through to minor cancer negative cells that are forming. And in every single case that I actually have treated, that I have worked on and assisted, are remiss of the cancer. It's not in their bodies anymore. And I have several people that are actually have given us testimonials about that. But I will tell you what is the ongoing pattern, if you like. What is the singularity with all these cases? Every single one of them is that before I worked on them, I had to make absolutely sure that they were ready to live and not ready to die. That was key. Because I cannot work on somebody that actually is either in the in-between and not sure if they want to still be here, and they still want to poison themselves, or someone that, let's say, is kind of on the, not sure. They have to be absolutely like, yes, I want my healing, I want it now, I want to get all better, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. See, that's the key. People that come to me and say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what, I'm willing to do this, I want to get better, I want to live, those are the people that I work with. The people that give me any sort of excuses and how they've been done this and they've done that and they've gone to this person, they've spent thousands of dollars, and they just don't trust themselves or they don't trust other people anymore. Those are the people that I'm very quick to turn away and say, you know what? No thanks. I don't need to work on you. I don't need to waste my time or your money. Please go to somebody else. Because those are the people that are not yet in pain enough to realize that they have a choice and that they have to have absolute faith in themselves primarily and thereafter in me, but first in you, that you can actually beat this, that you can actually heal this out of your body and transmute this. But it's certainly not up to me. It's up to every single one of you guys that decides to work with me. So one of the key things here, and I've had people that actually have had tumors in their body and they're gone. I've had people that have had cancer in their body and it's gone. All the people that I've worked on, I've always made suggestions of, like I said, the rudimentary, essential, foundational supplementation that they have to have for their body to also heal it and make it better. So that's another key factor in all this that I always make suggestions about. I never make recommendations because the AMA has made it impossible for us natural-born healers to be able to give them a subscription of any sort. So I never do that. I just make suggestions. And people choose to do what they're going to do. But I will tell you this, that us natural-born healers and us that have the sight to literally go into a person's body and I can tell them exactly what's going on in their body and what's wrong with them. There is no machine on this planet that I know of that has been publicly announced and allowed for people to use as a diagnostic tool in order for you to find out what's wrong with you. There are some energetic medicine machines that actually do that, and they do a very good job, but they're called alternative. They're not really used by mainstream medicine. Mainstream medicine wouldn't touch that because they would find that they don't know how to cure that. All they know how to do is give you a little Band-Aid and try and make you feel better. And that little Band-Aid I'm talking about is one pharmaceutical that then leads you to 10 pharmaceuticals, and by the time you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you're sitting there with 50 pharmaceuticals that you have to take 50 different pills because each one of you gives you 5 different or 10 different bad symptoms. So, people are discovering this and discovering how we've been bamboozled by the so-called pharmaceutical and medical industry. And I think most people are pretty fed up and realize that you guys are a bunch of liars and thieves and con men. And if anybody is what's it called? The oil, I forget what they call it, the oil, the snake oil sellers, that's the pharmaceutical companies and the Food and Drug Administration. And yes, of course, the pimps for them are the medical doctors. Now, there's a lot of medical doctors that have gotten smart and realized that they're killing their patients. Those are the ones that really have a heart. And they're not just in it for the money, because that's what made you corrupt, is all that money that you guys make. Those few and far between that have said, no, screw the AMA, screw the pharmaceutical companies, they're poisoning and killing our patients, and we're not going to have any of that. Those are the ones that stand up and that you try to persecute and attack and kill. So it's a pretty sad system, and people need to be aware of this. And you need to be aware that you have options and resources, and you get to choose because you're the adult. And the doctors are not God. That's the other thing we were talking about the other day. My dear partner, his grandmother is in the process of crossing over. And actually what I call, she's in the cocoon about to birth herself into the butterfly. And the doctor gave her 6 months to live. And what I told him is, I said, who the hell is he to decree when she's going to die? Is he God or something? To tell her, oh, you're going to die in 6 months. That's what they do all the time. Oh, your prognosis is not good. You're going to die. I've had people that have come to me that a doctor told them that 20 years ago, that they were going to die. And they say, I'm still alive. And I'm much healthier because I decided that he was a liar and that he misdiagnosed me, and I went on a kick to do all natural stuff, and here I am, and I have no diseases in my body. Now that's somebody that's transmuted themselves. Now that's a miracle, isn't it? They're their own miracles, and that's what you all have to wake up to. That you literally are your own miracle. And if you need a little bit of help, because we all do, if you need a little bit of support, assistance, if you need a catalyst, I'm here for you guys. But that's only for the people that are ready to transmute all this poison and this poisonous mind that you actually built around yourself. And when you're ready to come out of that paradigm, feel free to find me and contact me. So that's several other things that I want to talk to you guys about. In terms of creating miracles, we also can create miracles of all sorts, of all other kinds, like moving a money mountain, okay? If you're having financial issues or issues with your job or your relationship, remember that you are the miracle. You're the one that actually can choose to transmute and transform your experience into one of joy and happiness. But first, you have to find out what plagues you. What's making you ill? What's making you suffer? And that's basically why people come to me, is because they're at wit's end. From, anywhere from people that have these diseases to people that have other issues, that are plagued by other issues, shall we say, entities in their home, in their bodies, in their families, all the way through to implants. Oh my God, I treat all kinds of things that are just pretty everyday occurrences for me. And I bet you anything, if you guys went to the white coats, they would tell you you're crazy. And you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And especially in this country, most of the white coats have sold their soul to Satan, really, which is the cell phone companies. And they're not telling you that your cell phone is killing you. They're not telling you that their cell phone towers are killing you. They're not giving you any of their information about the smartphones. That's why they're called smartphones, because everything's backwards on this planet, because they're dumb phones. And they're dumbing you down, because that's exactly what they want. They want you to be nicely pacified so that they could actually come in and do whatever they want to you. And you know what? They're getting a little bit of a backlash, aren't they? Around the globe, I'm seeing people wake up from their doldrums, wake up from their stupor that they were in, and their zombifiedness into a place of, oh my God, they're trying to kill us. Well, hello. Welcome to this lovely world that we could definitely shift and change. So that's the next segment that I want to do in this next half hour, is how we can change all this. How can we transmute? How we can actually change the paradigm on the planet. One of it is speaking out like I am, and like so many others. Santos Bernacci, Cave Gaia. My God, I have several friends that I know that actually, Eugene, I forget his first name. Peter Eugene. There's lots of people that are actually waking up the masses. And lucky for us, the masses are waking up, right? In vast numbers. So I actually have been able to remote view and remote see into the banksters at the very top. The secret government, as they like to call themselves. And I'm telling you guys that the more of you guys that wake up and the more of you guys that say no to them and stand up against them, like you have in New York, like you had in all these different states. What was the other state where the police was being... Missouri. And we all stand as one big family, right? It doesn't matter what color we are, because they weren't trying to do that racial crap again, right? Have the people go against each other instead of And now we're all starting to realize who's actually behind. And they are really scared right now. They are very paranoid. And what I mean by scared is they're paranoid that they are going to get killed. Well, I got news for you. Keep having that paranoia. Do us all a favor. Keep having the paranoia that you are not going to exist anymore. That'll be a big one for all of us as well. That's for you people at the top. Because your day is coming. And I've seen it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has seen it. I actually had a precognitive vision dream. And it was in a dream where I literally saw it. So this day is coming upon you all. Your day of judgment, because you've judged yourselves, is upon you. Anyways, let's go into the positive mode for those of you that are ready to transform yourselves. Let me give you a segment of keys that you can use to transmute and transform your life. So step 1, most basic and most elemental, is self-love. That's step 1. If you don't have love and respect for yourself, for your temple, body temple, that houses your soul, that's why it's called the body temple, let's start there, okay? I want you guys to start to think and make a list of all the foods that you're eating, all the drinks you're ingesting. I want you guys to literally look at what you're putting in your body temple. Is it toxic? Is it, what is it? Is it man-made? Is it synthetic? If it's synthetic, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's food or drugs or medication. If it's synthetic, it's poison. If it's man-made in a lab, that's synthetic. If they created it from a natural source and then converted it into a material, so I'll give you the distinction. That is a pharmaceutical. Now I'll give you the distinction of a natural extraction, okay, of a certain natural source that's kept and remained in its natural state. That is a nutraceutical. It means it's a nutritional ceutical. It's actually refined and actually enhanced by the, if you like, chemical process without actually using chemicals that makes it into a synthetic. Those are the kind of things that you guys should start really looking into and using, okay? Food, no GMO. GMO is God of, I want to call it poison, but God of mammon is basically what GMO is. What is it? Genetic modified organisms, which basically means that they were concocted in a lab and that they're synthetic. Okay. Then there's no GMO, no pharmaceuticals, no like of your poison water that you get in most of the cities that they poison for us, thank you very much, that have all the chemicals, like they'll have your garden variety of chlorine and fluoride, and if in some cases there's all kinds of toxins that are being dumped in our waterways, and you'll find all kinds of pollutants and poisons in it too, so you need to drink filtered water. That's our day, unfortunately. The chemtrails that they're putting in the sky, I'm telling you guys, I've had like upper respiratory coughing now for the past almost month and a half since I allowed myself to get sick. And I'm telling you, this is not normal. And I know it's coming from the chemtrails that are in the sky, the poison that they're flying over our skies and injecting our skies with all over the world. Why? They supposedly it's to engineer so that we could have our skies, are going to turn us into flames and we're going to all burn, and that's what supposedly they say that's what they're worried about, is to cool down the green gases. That's a bunch of BS. That's a bunch of malarkey. They're doing that so that those chemtrails are full of parasites. They have also all kinds of other poisons in them that actually hurt us, hurt the plants. What's that?
Heavy metals.
Heavy metals. And not, pathogens, more gallons. Geez, that all comes from the chemtrails, you guys. And who do you think is your host that's done that to all of us? Just take one little thought of where do they come from and how do they have the money to inject all the skies with this poison with their jets? Who could that be? Just follow the money and you'll know who. So our skies are being poisoned, our water is being poisoned, our lands are being poisoned. So you have to be extra careful. You have to take, I am on about 20 or 30 different supplements a day just to maintain my health. Just to maintain my health. And I have to watch every single thing that I eat. Rarely. We do sometimes. We go to Trader Joe's and we buy stuff that's already pre-made. But for the most part, we try to do it all ourselves. Because most of the stuff that's prefabbed has some kind of not good thing in it. So that's the other thing that you guys have to think about is what are the raw materials that you're putting into your body, okay, that are going to make you sick or healthy, okay? So we got that. We got taking care of the body physically. Clean, good water is key. It's absolutely elemental to our survival. And then what do we put in our minds? What are you eating in terms of thoughts, in terms of watching movies, radio, music? What are you ingesting and allowing into your mind? Every morning now, I will tell you guys this. Every morning I wake up in the morning and I ask this question to myself. Are these my thoughts? Literally, I have to ask that because sometimes I wake up angry and I'm like, this is not me. Who the heck is this? So you also have to do a cleansing of your mind. And I'm not talking about the God mind. I'm talking about the ego mind, the personality mind. So sometimes when I wake up agitated, pissed off, every day now I'm waking up and going, okay, whose thoughts are these? If I wake up in a bad mood, if I wake up angry, if there's this voice inside of me saying, attack your partner, because he did this and this and this and this, I'm really paying attention to my mind and finding out that those thoughts are not my thoughts. So that's what they're doing with the chemtrails, if you guys want to know. They're putting it in the airwaves. They're putting all kinds of things. Why do you think they have 1 million cell phone towers everywhere and they're sending signals every millisecond? What I told people like 2 years ago when people were going, do you think HARP is only in Alaska? I was like, no, it's in every single city, in every part of the world. And they were like, how did that happen? I go, well, just look at your cell phone towers. They're repeaters, and they're part of the grid. They're part of the HARP grid. And they get activated also with the chemtrails and how they do their manipulation with the chemtrails. You could totally tell when they've harped the sky. There's the weirdest formations of what we think are clouds, but actually that's chemtrails. And they send airwaves, for those of us that have unplugged from mainstream media, they send those airwaves through their cell phones, through the cell phone towers. So just think about that, folks. You need to really contemplate on what you're doing. I want you guys that are actually poisoning your bodies with radio frequencies to really take a look at that. Because a lot of you are using your cell phones. We see you guys all the time. In your car, playing and texting somebody, driving, talking on your phones. It's so toxic. It's like your cell phones are the most toxic poison on the planet. That's another cancer that has infected this planet that you really need to take a look at. You need to not have your stuff wireless in your house. You have to have it wired in. Your nervous system wasn't made for these so-called wireless devices and your cell phones. They're not. You need to do some research on that. So that's another section, right? So we got the air, we got the water, we got the elementals for our body, nutrition for the body to keep it healthy, food that we ingest, the stuff that we drink. Then we have the mental thoughts, okay? Spiritual practices are really essential. They're really critical. If you're having challenges in your life, there's 1 million self-help people in the world that are on YouTube, There's a million, like, meditations, and there's mantras, and there's all kinds of things that can assist all you guys before you ever have to spend a dime. But you know what? The first thing you guys need to do is you need to take action in that direction. That's number one. And then clean up the emotional content, because that's what created your diseases. All diseases come from your emotional instability, shall I say. That is key and critical here, is that you guys really need to think about emotionally if you are healthy or not. What are your relationships like? See, that's the thing that most people come to see me. They seek me out and find me. Literally, that happens on one of the platforms that I'm on, as well as on my website, is that people literally seek me out because they know I can help them, but they're ready for their transmutation. So that is critical and key for all you guys, is to have that realization that I am here to serve and assist. And you got to think about that, because my partner writes my blogs for me on my website. I'm totally going to say that because he's done an amazing job. And one of the things that Chris has posted is basically being the real deal. And doing what I do. And what I tell people is, if I wasn't the real deal and I wasn't able to do all these things that I've stated here on this radio show, why would I be turning people away that are wanting to throw money at me to work on them? Why would I do that? If I'm not the real deal, I got news for you. People that are not the real deal will take your money in a heartbeat. And they don't care if they give you results or not. Okay? But I care. I not only care about me, I care more about you. And I care more about you being able to transmute your reality, to be able to have your day of healing and your day of joy and your day of transforming your life. That's what I'm here for. I'm really here to liberate all you guys. That is my sole intent and purpose. It's not to have you be addicted to me and to my sessions and to my treatments. You know, it really is for you guys to liberate yourselves from yourselves and from what is causing you pain and suffering. That is why I'm here. So I will turn people away, just saying to all you guys, that are not ready for their day, to transmute their pain and suffering, however it is plaguing you, into a place of being able to see that you could really be happy and really transform your life. Just letting you guys know that is absolute key. That I don't take every single case that I get, not because I can't do it. It's not because I don't think I'm capable of it. It's because I don't think that the people that have come to me are capable of transmuting and changing, because they're not ready. So really, it's a 50-50 partnership, isn't it? You know, I need able beings that are ready to transmute and to change their life. I don't need a bunch of, people that are just going to sit there and have me wave my magic wand over their little heads and take everything away, because that is not reality. So, what else can we talk about? We talked about, how about the miracle of that you're here.
Self-transformation, or just existence.
Of existence, that you're here, that you actually chose to come into the physical incarnation. Do you know how difficult it is to be incarnated in a body? Do you guys have any idea? I have worked with so many women that can't get pregnant, and especially in this time frame, which I don't really blame Gaia, because she is really shutting down a lot of the women that, we're just spitting out babies right and left, because we are overpopulated. That's our other problem. And any species that overpopulates the planet, guess what happens to it? When it gets up to a certain level, it's a toast. Just like the dinosaurs. So, we better become conscious, awake beings and really tread gently over her, Gaia, the planet, and learn how to live in harmony with her. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with, is to really start thinking about how can I live in harmony with the earth, and how can I harmonize myself to the earth so that I could be its steward and not its rapist. that really is critical for all of us to think and really seriously contemplate. And I know there's a lot of young kids these days that are in their early 20s, late teens, that are going back to the land. They're moving out of the cities. They're creating these little tiny homes. They're creating these communities where they help each other and they have self-sustaining communities. And this is happening all over the world, and it's happening organically. It's not like these people are getting, the idea and there's some guy at the top of the totem pole saying, oh, this is the way. They're realizing it because they're going within themselves and going, that lifestyle of a city is only poisonous, and I don't want any part of it. And some people think that regressing back to the land is like, in a way, against, modern civilization. I got news for you. This is not modern civilization. I've lived through lifetimes on this planet, and at the peak of modern civilization was Lemuria. Lemuria was the peak. We had the most amazing, incredible technologies on this planet that surpass anything that they have in their hands right now that's even 100 years ahead, that they won't give out to, they don't give their new technologies to the masses. Are you kidding me? They usurp them for themselves and they use them and abuse them, and then when they're done with them, then they throw them at us like, oh, here's your new toy, to try to appease us, just like they're trying to appease us with this lower the gas prices. Why don't we get rid of the gas altogether and start using other forms of free energy to drive our vehicles or to fly our vehicles? For that matter, there's already all this technology on this planet that was here way before these jerks that have taken over the planet. That was already here. And it's been hidden from us lifetime after lifetime. Every single cycle on this planet. But I'm telling you guys that Lemuria was the pinnacle of integration of technologies with spirituality, because they were hand in hand. They weren't like it is now, where technology's way up and like spirituality and humanity is down in the toilet. It was nothing like this. This is completely out of balance. And any system that's out of balance is going to be put back into balance, because it's going to collapse. Exactly. And that's the time frame that we're living in. We're living in the Babylonian tower time, where the towers are collapsing as we speak. So this is the end of this age. This is definitely, we're at the end of this age. I don't know how many years we have till it completely collapses, but I tell you, it's collapsing. And there's nothing any of you can do, including the people at the top that have tried to control, dominate, and play their little destructive games on Earth. That time is coming to an end. And the more of you guys that listen to this and wake up to this, the more of you that can pass this on to other people on the planet and wake up, and I shouldn't call them people, men and women, the more liberated will we all become from this, the stronghold and the chains that have put upon all of us, and that we've allowed. We literally have allowed it by not voicing ourselves, by not standing in front of them and going, no. Like now, all the people on the planet are becoming unified. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter from where you are, whether you're the Middle East or you're the Southeast or you're African, doesn't matter, because we know that all the people are the true people of this earth. They are the keepers of this earth. And the ones that actually are causing all the wars and all the destruction and all this horrible, horrible manipulation of the masses are the people at the top, are the so-called, the self-proclaimed Illuminati and the self-proclaimed, what do you call it, the self-proclaimed technocrats and the corporations and all of their mass destructive media and mass destructive tentacles. I am going to call them tentacles that are spread to every single aspect of a person's life. Your day's coming. Mark my words. Your day is coming. And it's not far away. It's not the next 1,000 years or 500 years or 100 years. That is for certain. Well, with that, I think I'm almost done chatting about this, and hopefully people will come on the air in the next few weeks as we get more traffic coming by and asking us all kinds of questions, so this can be more interactive. Have I left anything out? No? I think I've done a pretty good job, and I hope you continue to listen. And if you have any questions about how I do my work or what kind of... I have an amazing, beautiful website that I've been co-creating with my partner Chris and with the people that helped me build the website, that you can come to and gain tremendous amount of information, and it's all free. There's not a single place in that website, unless you want a session with me in private, that's going to cost you a dime. So I recommend that you guys go there, sonicnova.net, and if you do want to enter to win a 5-minute private session with me, you will definitely have to go to sonicnova.net/sonic. What's that minus sign? What's that called? A hyphen. Sonic-Nova. So again, sonicnova.net/sonic-Nova. And there you'll find video testimonials, and you'll find an area where you can enter your first name, if you like, your last name, your Skype name. Put all your information in there, and I'll be more than happy. Every week I select 4 winners. So if you guys want to enter to win a 5-minute private with me, I suggest you go to sonicnova.net/sonic-nova. Great. And with that, I'm going to close out the show for tonight. I hope you guys have a great time, and I look forward to the next show, which will be next Monday, Surfing the Cosmic Waves with your host Sonic Nova, here on Spreakers, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. Every week coming at you live from Spreakers.com. Look forward to our next week.
This radio show is a live, interactive internet radio show where we explore our multidimensional, true and divine nature. Here's where we enlighten and brighten your lives with all sorts of amazing, inspirational, and eye-opening information, from the occult to the extraordinary.